Alrighty then. Alrighty then. Okay. I'm gonna switch scenes. Alrighty then. Okay. I'm gonna switch scenes. Okay. I'm gonna switch scenes. Okay, I feel like there's some sort of audio thing that I gotta work out. Anyways, welcome to the stream. There's some sort of audio thing that I gotta work out. Anyways, welcome to the stream. Some sort of audio thing that I gotta work out. Anyways, welcome to the stream. I don't know where that would be coming from. So let's do this. I don't know where that would be coming from. So let's do this. I'm going to open up Rodecaster. I'm going to look at, that's the problem with having fancy devices sometimes is there's too many options. Having fancy devices sometimes is there's too many options. What if I just turn this off? I'm just curious if something's happening where I'm just curious if my audio is feeding back through my headphones. Feeding back through my headphones. I don't know if that helped. I still hear it. I noticed it on a previous stream. So anyways, I'm going to move that over there. I noticed it on a previous stream. So anyways, I'm going to move that over there. I noticed it on a previous stream. And I still hear it. So anyways, I'm going to move that over there. I think it's just the way I'm routing my audio. And I still hear it. Let's see. Headphones out. Probably maybe scene builder. Let's see. Headphones out. See, this is where it gets complicated. There's too many things going on. See, this is where it gets complicated. Because I'm routing audio from... Let's just turn everything off, but... Because I'm routing... Okay. I wonder if that's going to help. No, I don't hear anything. The microphone's going through, but... What did I shut off? HDMI? No. Because we should be going out from the encoder directly. I don't know. Let's go with, let's turn USB back on. USB 1. I feel like I should be hearing something on stream, but I'm not. Let's go USB 1 chat. I feel like I should be hearing something on stream. Okay, let's turn USB 1 off. Let's go USB 1 chat. I feel like I should be hearing something on stream. Okay, let's turn USB 1 off. Let's go. All right, hold on. Let's do this. Okay, let's turn USB 1 off. Let's fire the stream up on my channel and just see what's happening. As if, you know, we're tuning in. On my channel and just see what's happening. As if, you know, we're tuning in. Okay, now I'm going to turn off. Okay. All right, well, I think you're getting the sound. I mean, I can hear it on my stream here on my phone. Okay, let's just assume that it's working. These are the things. These are all the things. Hopefully there's a way to like cut this stuff out of future streams, or maybe this just doesn't make it onto my channel. Anyways, what I want to do, and I'm sure YouTube will like bug me if you can't hear the audio, but if anybody hears this, sees me, and you see my mouth moving, but you don't actually hear me, let me know in chat, please. Because yeah, that would be funny, amusing. Well, we'll see. Who cares? Let's just move forward, shall we? Get the reps in, as they say. So I'm going to turn that off. So the issue was with the scene builder. I think it's the audio. I was feeding a bunch of stuff in, and I don't think I needed to feed that in. I mean, stream settings still look good. Stream health still looks excellent. I'm not getting any flags about audio. So we're just going to keep it rolling. Keep rolling, rolling, rolling. What? Keep rolling, rolling, rolling. Okay. Let's just close this out. In the future, I should probably consider archiving these. But let's just see how the stream goes. We are going to, if I haven't already mentioned, I'm going to try to build out a, been playing with Remotion. Remotion is a, I don't know, it's a package, I guess. A package that you install, and you can, it was a, I'll just show you. How about that? Also, I was playing with Gemini, what do you call these? These are gems, right? So if you go here and you create a new gem, there's a way to create basic gems, I guess, but there's new gems, like lab gems, that aren't apparently powered by Gemini. They're powered by Opus, which is a difference. So this Gemini is powered by Google Labs, not Gemini apps. Anyways, so I thought, I saw this thing, I thought it was pretty cool, because I was like, oh, you can like do some automation, you can prompt the automations, right? You can build things. So I tried that this morning, and anyways, long story short, they broke, both of them broke. So it set them up, but when they actually go to run the, when I went to run them, both of them said, oops, something went wrong. So instead I switched over to Notebook LM, made a video, put it on my channel just because, well, why not? It was based on some sources from Robert Scoble about the multi-bot, ClaudeBot, multi. Anyways, so I made a cool video. Thought it was pretty cool. Cool enough that I thought other people, because I'm trying to figure out if I want to install this thing or even attempt it. Because I'm not the most tech savvy. I mean, okay, so there's levels of tech savvy, but this seems a bit techy, just in terms of like getting around, like, you know, using terminal and stuff to like set it up, and Linux and yada, 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 VPSs, wherever you want to put this thing to get it to work. So seems like there could be a little bit of friction getting this thing going. So I simply made a video about it so I can even understand myself what it does better. And I put it on the channel, so it's there. But again, for the sake of what we're talking about today, we're just in anti-gravity again. We're going to load up anti-gravity. This is a blank project. We'll probably need to install some stuff. So for the purpose of the stream, I'm going to use Flash 3 just to see how far we can get. Gemini 3 Pro, yesterday I was laboring on the fact that it can be a bit much. It sort of gets twisted up and keeps doing things that I don't want it to do. Anyway, so let's open up a terminal. We need to install anti-gravity. Or not anti-gravity, we need to install the thing, which is going to be Remotion. So let's just look up, I always forget, Remotion. Let's just see, Agent Skills Remotion. Let's go to getting started, installation, and then there's a prompt in here that I think we can just run. I think we could just run that. So let's just go back over here and see if in fact that's the case. So I'll put that over there, and then we'll just run this. I just created an empty folder called slide decks. Actually, let's not put that there. We need to put it here in the terminal. And we'll show you kind of what it goes through. So it says, do you want to install it? Yes. Which template? I like blank, so blank. Tailwind, yes, we want some styling, yes. And agent skills, yes. So actually what's interesting is before, last couple of days I installed this package and the Tailwind was set to yes as a default. The agent skills was set to no. So now it looks like, and the blank, and the blank blank canvas option was in the middle somewhere. There was a bunch of other, I kind of blew right past that, but there were a few other templates that you could have chose from, but blank was in the middle. And I've only been using blank as an option. And then you can see here on the left side, it sort of populates all this stuff. Basically gives agent skills for all the different agents, which is kind of messy. So let's just go into agent and then look at the skill. So primary skill. I think I'm done with the agent, or done with the terminal for now. So let me just see something. Let me see something. Let me see. What am I looking at? Oh, okay. So terminal, let's just close this. Oh, the rules. Rules of engagement. Shall we? So let's open this up. Let's close the side window here. Just get a actually, since we're running this full screen, I don't think it should be an issue. All right. Rules. So these are the rules. These are motion best practices that it sets up, right? They're all the same, I believe. So it just depends on what you're running it in. So if you look over here on the left, in anti-gravity, this is where it goes. Agent skills, and then remotion best practices. So these are the remotion best practices. All right, so we want to do a slide deck, right? So what I want to do is, I'll actually, for this one, we'll just keep the manager on the right. Okay, and we'll just go with this flow. So you can still see me on screen. All right. So again, we're going to use Gemini Flash. Now what I want to do is build out a slide deck. So I'm trying to explore using Remotion as a way to produce a video asset, but more in a slide deck presentation. So actually that's where it gets back into this. I thought this was the way that this came out. Nope, not that. The content for Notebook LM. Okay. So this thing, here, I'll go full screen so you can see this. It's like a whiteboard style presentation with graphics, right? So I'm not sure. I don't think my audio is coming through on that, which is fine for this because last time I got into trouble when routing audio through my thing. Anyways, it's a slide deck style presentation, but it's a video. So this was done with Notebook LM. Took a bunch of sources from Scobalizer, who follows AI pretty religiously in terms of like covering news and latest stuff in the space. Just has tremendous amount of lists and things that he monitors. Anyways, and if you haven't heard about Claudbot or Modbot or Claudbot, Moltbot, this is just blown up in the past like few days. Over the weekend, it was, I almost bought a Mac Mini. That's how invested in this I almost got. Needless to say, we're talking about the slide deck, and I was like, okay, this is cool. It's a video asset, but it's, it's Notebook LM. It's Notebook LM branded. But I'm like, well, maybe we can just make this, right? Maybe we could produce some assets using Nano Banana Pro, probably, and then animate them with a script from 11 Labs. So 11 Labs, a script with some whiteboard style animated looking things, right? So that's the goal. That's what we're talking about today. So let's get back to anti-gravity. Let's get back to business. All right. So on the right, we're going to just set this off. Again, empty project, just installed Remotion. And we're going to say, I'd like to, actually, let's plan it. Let's see how good. Actually, for this, I'm going to use some high level thinking. For the execution, I'm going to switch back to Flash. So on the model, I'm going to go back to High Pro just so I can think about this, sit on it, ponder it, wonder how it's going to do it. And then when we get down to actual, the building, I'm going to switch back to Flash. So just to see how it goes today. We are going to build a slide deck. So let's build a slide deck presentation using Remotion. I'd like to create the slides using static images that we create using nano banana, nano banana, banana. And then we'll add a voiceover using 11 Labs, because these are things I just already have configured. So nano banana for the images. The slide deck should be cohesive in terms of the consistency of the graphics, and all of the slides should feel similar, themed. The voiceover should match the slides. Okay, let's just see where we go from there. So again, empty projects. Again, for these live streams, I'm going to try to keep them under an hour, just because after an hour, I just start wandering into space, and I usually don't get back to where I need to be. So in an hour, we're just going to see how far we can get with the slide deck presentation using Remotion. And I think it'd be a pretty easy way to do a Notebook LM style presentation, but custom. So you can kind of build it out around anything that you need to present. You could build a video asset using Remotion. In the past, this should be easier, because in the past, Remotion kind of has all these other features, but I really just want the transition mechanics and the sliding mechanics, maybe like cutting between scenes. So I need to just put it on a timeline, right? And then we can render it from there. So we're trying to go simple. Yesterday, I tried to get complicated. I tried to do things that were outside of the scope. Okay, so let's look at the implementation plan. All right, create a cohesive Remotion slide deck using generated static images, nano banana theme, no, not nano banana theme. And anti-gravity, you can comment on this stuff. Not nano banana theme. The theme, nano banana, is the AI image gen model I want to use. Nano banana, let's just say pro, is the AI. The theme will be derived, the overarching theme, you'll know what I mean. The overarching theme will be dynamically determined by the content of the presentation. Should be. I don't know, context wise, should be, will be. I'm trying to say it should. Give it some direction, not will be. Sometimes I think just subtle tweaks of the prompts, it changes the outcome significantly. So we're going to add the comment. Okay, now we're just going to say, okay, let's go. All right, let's get to it. And I'm going to switch back to Flash. And we're going to go back into fast mode. And let's just see what we get. It's like speed running. So we're just going to speed run this and see if we can get something set up quickly. So more like a speed run. Maybe that's what, maybe these sessions should just be me trying to plow through something as fast as I can just to see if it'll work. Okay, so, well, it just spun up a bunch of instances of image gen. But it doesn't have any content. Like, what is this presentation about? I haven't fed it any content. And I don't particularly know why it decided it wanted to create this stuff. But all I know is it probably wasted a bunch of tokens here and and calls to build these images. Maybe we can use them. You know, it'll probably put it in a public folder and store them. I'm not really sure where it's going with this. Again, maybe was it part of the implementation plan? I don't see anything about it. It says verify if Nano Banana is a topic. Approval of the, didn't ask me to approve anything. Oh, draft. So it looks like it's here. Draft a short script pitching or explaining Nano Banana. Even though this does not look like it is it looks like it's just building some city. I mean, these are all very connected, so I like the style. The images are all sort of intertwined. So I do like that. I got that part right. But also with image gen, it takes a minute, so I don't want to keep iterating through a bunch of these. I don't want to keep iterating through a bunch of these designs unnecessarily. For one, if you're to do this in production, it gets expensive. So, you know, we need to have more steps here before we get here. And maybe that's okay. It's gonna add them to the assets. So, okay, so we put them over here in public, and then we've got assets. I believe assets. So it's gonna store them somewhere. We need to accept it. Accept. All right, so it's just putting them over here. All right, so it created these slides. And it hit a tool calling limit, of course. Sure. Okay, let's just get the bones of this done. So yeah, proceed, sure. Let's just see what it's gonna ultimately produce. Let's get something on the timeline and then go from there. Something on the timeline. All right. So we've got 4 slides so far. I don't know where it's going with this. We're just along for the ride at this point. Again, not the way I would typically approach this, but for the sake of the stream and curiosity, my own curiosity, let's just see where this goes. Let's just see where this goes. Where the sidewalk ends, nobody knows. Slide decks. Okay, it's thinking. What are we thinking about? Crafting the script, the visual elements. Okay. All right, it is thinking about the slide deck creation, the elements, how it's gonna do it, the audio strategy. Should turn my phone on silent. Come on. Streaming best behavior. I'm not on my best streaming behavior. Audio generation. All right, so it's doing lots of things. It's thinking about how it wants to do this. Again, we're using the Gemini 3 Flash model, so I would actually ended up producing the final slide. So it's got the 5 slides. All right, now we're actually generating something, so flashed along. Actually, nope, just kidding. Still thinking about this. Okay. So I think the way this should be is there should be a separate skill. And the more that anti-gravity goes off the rails for me, the more I realize that setting up your skills ahead of time to give it direction in Rails would probably be the better solution here, right? Instead of an empty project with a motion package installed and nothing in it, because otherwise you end up in this sort of place where it's just like, it has no idea really what it's supposed to be doing. But we finally got a command. It's accepted it. What are we doing now? It's generating something. I just approved something after it decided, okay. Slide decks. Okay, still thinking. I'm still thinking if this was a good topic to stream today, but I need to produce something like this in the future. So if this is just a way to get there, then even if it's means things that I should not do in the future when I build out a slide deck using anti-gravity, or in theory you could install this in any package. It doesn't have to be anti-gravity specific. This can be in, as far as I could tell, you can run this in CLI. Maybe not. I'm not a CLI type of guy. I like the IDE, the developer interface environment. Just, it reminds me of, like, you know, way back once upon a time when there was, you know, Dreamweaver and stuff. What you see is what you get. I'm just used to that style of UI, not a CLI, which is like no UI. It's just chat, just commands. All right, so it's thinking about the voiceover. It created an audio for a directory for audio, which is fine because that's what we need. So far the structure is okay. It's building out the mechanics of this, like just the structure of the project itself, which would be universal for future projects, right? So we'd probably want a skill that sort of says, all right, the audio is going to go here, the slides are going to go here. We need a script. I'm going to give you some content. You're going to figure out a script for it. You're going to produce these images, and then we can figure out how to put them on the timeline, and then just, you know, run the timeline. And so when I say timeline, I mean Remotion is probably going to load up an instance here in just a moment, albeit I don't particularly care for the way that anti-gravity does this, where it's like thought. This just visually, I think it's stuck. Like, it just looks like it's just having a problem. Like, it's because you can't, there's no transparency here. You can open these up individually, but and maybe if I was in the agent manager, it would look different in terms of how these are collapsed, and I could get a better sense of what it's doing. But when you open up any of them, it just sort of feels like it's just looping through. I mean, it does appear to be doing something, but it continues to say it's generating the voiceover logic and building the slide deck, like all of these saying the same thing. So I don't know. And I also feel like I have not had the same success with anti-gravity over the past couple days that I did when I first started building in anti-gravity. Maybe it's the model, maybe it's Gemini, maybe it's whatever. I mean, you know, there's a lot of things that require AI to work well. You have the models that have to cooperate, you know, the bandwidth, the hosting, Google serving these models, any changes they make, the prompts. All right, I have no idea what it's doing. And this is where it just hangs, right? It just gets stuck. So we're just going to cancel that because that's, again, just an example of, for me, anti-gravity going off the rails a bit. I just recently canceled my Cursor subscription, but maybe maybe that was premature. Maybe I should go back to, I like the idea of, and I think Cursor has agent skills now. I could be wrong. I know Claude, as far as I understand it, Claude brought skills to the table, but skills are universally now kind of everywhere. I sort of jumped on anti-gravity because I jumped on a Gemini subscription, and I wanted to take advantage of it. So we are here for that reason. Okay. Let's see. Thought process, voiceovers. We need to create. Okay, so let's go back to planning mode. Where are we at and what are we doing next? So maybe this will reset its thinking, reframe it, if you will. Like, okay, a little too in the weeds here. Let's step back out. Let's figure out what we're doing. Okay, so it's got the script generation. So it generated the script apparently. Okay, so then let's just execute. Like it has the task list here. It looks fine. Like let's just do it. Okay. Okay. Proceed. And let's see if it gets it done. Yeah, but these loops are what kills me with anti-gravity. We'll see how. Let's see how this persists here. Maybe. Yeah, it has a tough time. Like I don't think this is another where we're getting hung up here. Use the 11 Labs MCP for the audio generation. Maybe let's just give it a helping hand. Still thinking. All right, it looks like we're making some progress. I do see something about the MCP. It says it's generating, but I feel like it's been generating. And still working on it. Yeah, again, I don't know. This feels a little bit clunky. Like more clunky than it has been in the past. I'm going to go back to AI Studio. AI Studio gives me more satisfaction. More gratification. Maybe I should say gratification. All right, so thought. The user wants to use 11 Labs for the generation. I've already created the slides. Now I need to generate the 5 slides in the scripts. Yes, you do. I love that it just says thought. Okay, slide 1, slide 2, slide 3. Okay, progress here. I'll use a specific voice. Finally have a different sort of thing. After generating audio, I'll create the emotion components and thought. And that's it. Then it's going to go back into its hole. All right, what are we doing? What are we doing? I'm still thinking. See, this should be easier than it. It should not be like this. And I think maybe we're just missing some skills. All right, so check this out. Let's just stop that. Let's just stop that. Okay, let's go do this instead. Let's create a new, conversation. All right. Let's create separate agent skills to manage these tasks. To manage the tasks related to, all right, let's go back to planning. Let's put the chief model back in play. Let's create separate agent skills to manage the tasks related to building slide decks. Break down the individual components that we need to produce McKinsey style consulting decks. Okay, let's do that. So no framework. As far as I can tell right now, it means bad. Like no structure, no guidelines. Agents, I feel like the model's just like spinning on its head. It just doesn't know what it's doing. So let's see if we can give it some help. We're going to create some agent skills, which is, I think, where I initially had the most success was creating the skills up front, defining the agent skills, and then sequencing those skills. So letting them sort of specialized skills. So let's, write the script, let's produce the audio. You're just going to have an audio producer agent. You're going to have a script agent, your style agent, somebody that's going to style the presentation, someone that's going to research it, that kind of thing. So in this particular case, it wants the storylining skill, the consulting slide design skill, the data viz skill. Sure. All right. Okay. And we'll stick with this idea that maybe Flash can pull this off. We'll just have the big brain, Gemini 3 Pro be big brain, and then Flash be our little minions that get the thing done. Also, because I've been getting rate limited on Gemini, so let's avoid that. Okay, so this is a little bit more straightforward. Now it actually has like some sense, some direction, and it's much more competent so far about it. It already created the skills. It didn't think. It wasn't just doing that. I mean, oh, here we go. It's thinking. All right, new skills created. Would you like to put these to a test by drafting a sample ghost tech for a topic? Yes. Yeah, can we create research agent? Do we have a research agent? Can we create a research agent to explore the topic that we're going to present? So I'm thinking we use either the browser agent to set this up, or probably the browser agent. Okay, it says now we're fully equipped. Storylining, slide dev. Okay, but I think so let's look at the assets, look at the agents. All right. Okay. Yes. Okay. So since we just were working on the Moltbot thing, the ClaudeBot story, let's tie it all together. Let's see if we can, do some research on ClaudeBot, and then just see if we can get anything similar to the notebook presentation that we started with. So let's do that. So let's go and say, hey, hey. Where are we going with this? Oh, yeah. Let's discuss the latest craze over ClaudeBot. Over, what is it called now? Multibot. I forget what this thing's called. It was renamed Moltbot. Okay, so Moltbot. Let's discuss the latest craze over Moltbot, formerly ClaudeBot, and why it's taken the internet by storm. Okay, whatever. Send it on its way. Hopefully it'll do the research aspect of it. Okay, so it's searching the web. It's exactly what we need. We actually need some content to present. Okay, it's got a solid framework for it. GitHub growth sales, Mac mini sales. It's on the right track because those are the things that we were just discussing. Why everybody's buying Mac minis to install ClaudeBot on. Fascination, the hardware, the convergence. Okay, so all right. So we got the executive summary. Okay, now we're making progress. Now we actually have some progress here. Okay, just accept these changes. Probably another reason why I like working in Agent Manager is you don't have to accept all the changes all the time. Again, would you like me to focus on creating the charts first, or shall we draft the detailed content for one of these specific sections? Okay. Okay, so next steps. And proceed as you see fit. How about that? Full autonomy. Okay, slide decks. All right. Let's see if we get hung up again here, or if we've created enough structure and framework for this to get it done. But that seemed to help a ton. It's kind of like, okay, it's got some direction now. It doesn't have to spin itself out of control. All right, so it's going to make the components now. The components for the slide deck. I imagine that's the components for the Remotion deck. The slide layout, the TSX. I have to really figure out. Let's just do that. TSX. What is TSX? I think it's a very specific file format. I mean, obviously it's a file format, but what does TSX stand for? What is a TSX file? TSS. They're both TypeScript files. Okay, so it's TypeScript. I don't know why it's TS or why some are TS and some are TSX. Oh, scalable React application. So it just seems like a fancier. TS is pure TypeScript logic. TSX is components. Okay. All right, so it's building components. Building. Accepted. It's still generating and thinking. But we're getting closer because we needed the components to build a project. I think we're about 45 minutes in the stream, so got about 15 minutes to sort this all out. We're on the clock. Let's see if we can actually get something done here. All right, so yes, build framework first. So the key things for me is just like, you got to think about, I don't think you can just go into an empty anti-gravity project and expect that everything's going to work. You sort of have to scaffold the project. I think there should be a way to build these templates out, right? So you can install all the packages, that's fine. But I think the most important thing is having like the hierarchy, the agents that are going to do the job. Especially if you're using anti-gravity for this kind of thing. You may not be using it for that reason at all. But I need an agent to, you know, to review this, to think of what is happening. See, I can't see anything because it's like, we're just waiting. So again, another reason to use Agent Manager. So it's going to fire up a terminal, or it's opening up a terminal. It'll probably load up an instance of Remotion, and we're just going to see where it's at. I don't even know if it created the images. No idea. npm install. Well, I don't even think we've done the audio yet. npm run dev. Okay. Remotion Studio. And what do we have? I have no idea what we're going to see here. The most beautiful McKinsey deck ever. And actually, there's nothing. So it's working on it because that's not what's supposed to go there. Nope. Nope, nope. Nope, it's not rendering anything. So it's it opened up a localhost 3000 port 3000, and but nothing's rendering. Usually you'll see a timeline or errors, one of the two, or nothing in this case. So it's puzzled; it can't figure it out. So it's gonna, you know, continue checking. So it's using the Chrome browser to look at the logs, look at the page, extract elements from it. And try to figure out what's wrong with it. And yep, so it knows that it's a white space. It knows that that's not what we should be getting. And we're now down to 10 minutes on the stream. 10 minutes. Will we get something working here? Will it pass the vibe check? Vibe check. Does it pass the vibes? What is happening? We're so close. We got the components built. I think they're actually, I don't know where it, oh, here it goes. Yeah, the components, the TSX, the index, the root. I think we're missing some slides here in the components. We have the waterfall chart. So we have a couple other ways to present the data. So these are the okay, so it has some of it, but clearly it's still struggling with its ability to produce the Remotion package. Yeah. And yep, still not there. So maybe if I'm thinking about future projects that require Remotion, get Remotion set up, install it, get the timeline built out first, so that it's not trying to do it on the fly. Like I feel like, okay, it's opening another instance of Remotion somewhere. Localhost 3001. Let's load 3001. Has 3001 got anything going on? No, it's refused. It does not like that. Let's go back to 3000. Andre 3000. Oh, it's opening out here, see? So this is where, if you want to see anti-gravity in action, this is when it's taking over the browser. You got this blue sort of halo around the screen. And it's still inspecting the fact that it's got nothing going on. And Flash doesn't seem to be able to figure this out. So let's just deploy Big Brain again. Fix the remotion package so that it renders correctly. So again, tag team. And in the past, I've just relied on Gemini 3 Pro High, but I was eating all my tokens. so I'm just going to use it, you know, as a way to fix things, you know. Big Brain, come out and play. Okay, so let's see if Big Brain can figure this out. It's diagnosing a missing NPM. It's got the failed error. Just gonna close this for now. Sure, let's run it. Sure, accept, because I can't see the chat. Okay. See if we can reinstall it, I believe is what we're trying to do here. And we're down to a few minutes left on the stream. So let's see if we can get something on screen. I actually don't know if this is set to public. Oh, it is. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah. So I should have been able to get there. Okay. Localhost 3000. Here's what we've got. And still blank. And still blank. All right, so more problems. So that's kind of the theme of today's stream. Debugging, problem solving. We could tell here, even Big Brain is having a hard time figuring this out. It's retrieving the console logs from the browser. Trying to guess. I'm sure it's not guesswork per se, but some of it is. Some of it is. A lot of it is. But so far, we're not passing the vibe. The vibes, it's not past the vibe check. Okay, it seems to be stuck again. So rather than watch this, we've unfortunately at this point in the stream failed our objective. The objective was to get a slide deck presentation built in the style of NotebookLM, a NotebookLM-esque presentation that could be rendered as a video object. And as a recap, just what we've done, other than failing on the delivery, without skills in place, it just randomly created a bunch of slides. It had nothing to do with anything because it just made them up. They are all consistently a theme, space city, whatever this is. But side note, I used to try to render stuff like this in Maya like 30 years ago. Like 3D model this kind of stuff with lighting, volumetric lighting, all that. It just took forever. And it still didn't look as good as this. But we created separate agent skills up here. The Remotion best practices are baked in. Storytelling, slide design, research, data viz. We got some components, but I think they're busted because otherwise we'd have Remotion sort of set up. So, but that's about as far as we got. No voiceover. Voiceover hasn't worked, even though in the past I've been able to configure the MCP to do this. Still a bit clunky there. Maybe it would be better if there was just a direct API call to 11 Labs instead of like letting the agent try to figure out the best calls to send to the MCP. I find that MCPs are okay, but oftentimes the prompts aren't even, like, it just wastes tokens because it doesn't format the MCP request very well, or it just shoves a bunch of stuff in there anyways. We didn't even get that far. So I'm going to stop this process. I'm going to stop the stream, and we'll say so long for now, but I'll see you soon, hopefully. All right. Until the next stream, shall we?